back with another Islam podcast. It's been a while. It's good to be back. I'm your host for today, Abdullah Patel, and join with me. We have a very big crew of OC members on the panel today. So first and foremost, the Mr. Commissioner himself, Habibi. Assalamu alaikum. How you doing?
Walaikum assalam, Abdullah. Didn't realize how much I missed you guys, man. It's been a while.
It's been a month. It's been a month, and joined with us today is also Mr. Ahmed Mobeen. Assalamu alaikum, bro.
Assalamualaikum. Echo the same
Walaikum
sentiments,
assalam.
Habibi. It's been too long.
It's been a while.
Yeah,
Man.
I think the last podcast was right before playoffs, so a lot has gone down since then. But inshallah, we'll jump right into the action. I know we have a jam-packed podcast today. Yeah, we have the award show, finals preview, really exciting. It's probably one of our longest seasons, with all the delays in Ramadan and everything, but it all comes to an end on Friday. So yeah, inshallah, we'll kind of get started. So for those, let's see if anyone's in the chat. No one's in the chat so far. No worries. People will
People always watch later.
Yeah. So how are you guys feeling with the finals coming up? Unfortunately, none of us are participating this year, but
No, but what I'm surprised is the top two.
We've been off hockey for so long. We've been off hockey so long. I don't know if any of us remember how to play hockey.
Yeah, literally.
It's like riding a bike. You pick up a stick, you'll pick it up again. But yeah, surprised that the top two teams didn't make it, which is one thing. But I mean, at the end of the day, the teams that deserve to be there are actually there now. So sure, we'll have a lot to talk about when we start looking at those two teams. But no, Dawood, we cannot delay from one more week. I'm surprised. I mean, we were just talking about how long this season is. He wants to extend it
for sure. Also, join with us today is Mr. Faisal Mahboob Foster. Assalamu alaikum. How you doing?
Walaikum salam. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you loud and clear. How's it going?
Okay. Everything's good. Everything's good. How are you guys?
We're great, alhamdulillah.
Good stuff. I hear Dawood wants to delay for another week.
I don't know. I think he wants his to star forward Hamza Ali back from Hajj. Well rested. Unfortunately, he'll be missing it, but I think Hajj is a little bit more important.
A little more important. Yeah, no kidding.
Yeah. So yeah, with that, we'll get
as a superstar.
I know. We'll get in.
You should be carrying the team. That's my man.
He's gonna have a big game Friday. But yeah, with that, we'll get into the award show. So we have a series of awards. These awards are all OC voted. So the four of us, along with Zuhair Fancy, Omar Sawi, and Imad Hussein, were tasked with voting for these awards. So please just know if you didn't win an award, we don't have anything against you. There's only one player or a couple players that can win these awards every season. So inshallah, continue to work for it for next season. So the first award is,
before you get into that, I would say, Abdullah, we would encourage, let us know in the chat if you had other thoughts, if you had a different pick that disagree or agree with us. I mean, that's good feedback to know. Maybe you saw something that we didn't see, but I'm sure your peers will appreciate that recognition from their players, from their fellow players.
For sure, definitely. So the first award is the Naseem Buttar GM Award. It's awarded to the GMs that performed the best in the season, in our opinion, and that award goes to Haya. So Luke and Akib from Team Haya win the 2025 Naseem Buttar GM Award. They finished first place. They had a great regular season. I think at the start of this year, not a lot of people expected them to come out on top. And the way they did, with almost, the least amount of goals scored and barely, letting in goals the whole season. So, a big congratulations to Haya. And here is how the OC voted. So out of the 7 voting members, as you can see in the top, 4 of us voted for Team Haya, with 2 votes going for Team Iman and 1 vote for Team Rida. So, maybe Habibi or Mobeen or Foster, you can give your kind of thoughts on kind of the votes that you guys casted.
Well, for me personally, you hit it on the nose. I mean, for me, a team with the best record or in this case, the President's Choice, the President's Award, in terms of like the best record of the regular season, to me deserves that recognition. You can definitely see how Luke and Akib definitely guided that team to that top record in the division, sorry, in the whole entire league. And their even the record, like in terms of like their goals for, goals against, they had a stacked team, both on defense and offense. They were a well constructed team, and when you have a well constructed team, in my opinion, as along with their record, that's where my vote swayed. And I think you hit it on the nose when you first introduced them as the winner of this award, from my perspective.
For sure. So Faisal, I'm curious to hear, you were the only person that voted for Rida. What was your inspiration behind the pick?
Okay, so they finished second overall, only 1 point behind Haya, and at the same time, they finished the season off going unbeaten. So, you factor in first couple of games that a team starts to gel, and after a certain point, then they come together as a team. The team chemistry builds, and just looking at like going unbeaten in 7 games, I mean that goes on the GMs. Like, I mean, they put together a strong team and they played really well together. So that was sort of the basis of my decision. Yes, I recognize that Hyatt did finish first, but their records were almost identical. A tie being the difference. Nothing to take away from Lukman and Akif. Both are amazing GMs. They do this almost every season, and they always put together a strong team. And it was very hard to make that decision not to go with Haya, but I explained, like, going unbeaten for the latter half of the season sort of stood out for me.
I just want to set context here. So, for context, any award could be argued anyway, and it could really go to anyone. But just to Mabit's point, there's obviously a lot of stuff that we won't see that others will see. But I agree with you, Faisal. It could have gone to Rida, it could go to Hayek, it can go to Yemen, it can go to anybody. And for every single award, I mean, that's the reason why we in the OC sometimes we differ, and that's a good thing. But in essence, for every single award, there's arguments to be made for everyone, for every team on that basis. But I agree, Rida was up there for sure. Absolutely.
For sure. And we also do have a thank you video from Luke and Akib themselves. So we'll just play that and kind of hear from them.
Ready, set, go. Hey, Assalamualaikum, boys. I want to thank the OC and Team Haya for that 2020-2025 Winter GM Award. I appreciate it, boys. Thank you. It's not the way we like to finish, but alhamdulillah, great season. And once again, thank you to the OC, to the league, and Team Haya. Akib?
Yeah, it was a great season. Thanks to all the players. They definitely showed the Haya hustle, so shout out to all of them. And Mr. Mahida on the back end, he was amazing, mashallah. So fortunately we couldn't do it all, but yeah, we'll take the victory and be back next year, right, Luke?
Yeah, we'll be back next year in the fall, and we hope to select a lot of the same guys. And if it wasn't for them, we wouldn't be here today, with this award. So thank you, Team Haya.
Thanks.
Okay, so it's good to hear from them. And it seems they're at softball, which is a very common theme this summer. Heading into the summer season, a lot of our guys are playing softball. So
taking their talents to the
taking their talents to the softball pitch. So with that, we'll move into the second award. This award is the Brotherhood Award. It's awarded to
anybody. All 120 players could have got this.
All 120 players, but this award we singled out a player that we think showed exemplary brotherhood throughout the season, and the winner of this award is Maz Huck of Team Mickey. He's wearing a Team Suburb jersey, but he's on Team Mickey this year. 15 points. Great brother. I think 0 penalty minutes. So he was a great kind of teammate. Me and Habibi were on this team as well. But congratulations to Maz. And we have here how the OC voted for this award. So yeah, once again, another, 3 nominees. It seems like Foster with another lone nominee with Asif Bika and Mobina and Habibi both voting for Yusuf Kapoor, and the rest of the OC voting for Maz. So, wow, this is I feel like it's going to be a common theme to not have a unanimous winner, which is I think happens every year. But yeah, definitely, I think any one of these guys and any one of the people that wasn't nominated could win this award. But yeah, Maz did do an exemplary job this year. With kind of how he played and how he kind of led Team Yakin. Unfortunately, we couldn't make the playoffs and stuff. But tough season, but still a great brother.
You have to be a really good brother to keep your cool with a second last place team. So I guess he did.
Yeah, definitely. So
if there's anyone that could do it, it's Maz for sure.
Yeah, definitely. We have a thank you video from Maz here. We'll just
before you get to that, I do think we should actually highlight the other two brothers because they were recognized by the voters. I'll speak to Kapoor. Like he's always at the rink. Just seeing him play, like he's a goalie that if he played on his team, everyone enjoys being on his team. Like he doesn't blame the defense or like he expects to stop every shot that comes his way. So and then he's always recording the games and sharing it with the team or the opposing players. So just a good brother all around, mashallah.
Yeah, definitely.
And I did the same as well. Yeah,
for sure.
Bika.
Yeah, Bika is.
Listen, I did pick Bika, and I think he does exemplify brotherhood within the league. Now, I know you guys, and I'll tell you why. Like he's there consistently. He's a good leader on the team. He's a quiet leader on his team, and he doesn't cause trouble or anything. I think he really does exemplify throughout the season. He exemplified what it means to be part of the league and a brother. Now, aside from that, I know you said 120 players could have got this award, and this is where I differ. I think if you got suspended during the season, maybe you're undeserving of a brotherhood award, right? Because your actions sort of spoke a little differently, and I would encourage players, moving forward, if you're playing the league, we do have a strong initiative to have that brotherhood mentality. Let's not try to fight, argue, or attempt to injure each other. Everyone's there to play, have a good time on Friday nights. Look at the other person as your brother and not as just an opponent, although they are at that moment. But let's try to refrain from trying to injure guys. So that's my 2 cents.
Well said, Foster. So here's Maz's thank you video.
Assalamu alaikum, everyone. Alhamdulillah, very grateful to have been chosen for the Brotherhood Award for this past Islam season. Not gonna lie, it's a little bit easier to win the Brotherhood Award when you just haven't played any Islam games for the last 6 weeks. But alhamdulillah, regardless, Team Yaqeen had a great season, but unfortunately, obviously, ended a little prematurely. Last time I won the Brotherhood Award, I got into a scuffle the next season and didn't win the award. So, inshallah, here's hoping to a repeat, and apologies in advance if there's not. Assalamu alaikum.
It's always like he's warning us.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, great. That's a good video, and he is playing summer season, so let's just hope tempers don't flare in the summer. So yeah,
we'll keep him at bay.
The next award that we want to award is to the best goaltender of the season. This award, there were a lot of candidates, but it seems within OC voting, it was almost unanimous. So the winner of the best goaltender for the winter season is Huzaifa Mahida from Haya. So yeah, definitely no surprise here. He had the best save percentage. He had the least amount of goals allowed. He was honestly a rock in the Haya goal. And he was well deserving of this award, as you can see with the OC voting. So almost unanimous, but Zuhair Fancy voted for Yusuf Kapoor as the best goalie from Team Iman. But yeah, this is kind of one of the few categories where it was 6-1 with voting.
And he was one of the main reasons for Haya's success.
Yeah, definitely.
So I mean, he's definitely a big part of that puzzle. Well deserved, for sure.
For sure. And here is his thank you award. He also had a pretty good, I believe, Salam Cup as well. As we did come against each other, and I let him know, I'm like, hey, I need your thank you video. He gave it to me a couple weeks later, but here it is. Better late than never.
Assalamu alaikum. Just wanted to say thank you to the organizing committee for choosing me as the best goalie for the season. Especially a season where I feel like every single goalie has stepped up, played unbelievable, and obviously I could not have done this without the team that I had, plain and simple. So Jazakallah, honored, and yeah, just hopefully come back even stronger next season. See you guys in fall, inshallah.
Yeah, so inshallah, he comes back, and I haven't played with him, but maybe in fall I'll be on his team and he can kind of repeat the performance.
If I could just put things into a little bit of perspective on how much pressure he was in for every week. Haya doesn't score that many goals. In fact, they only scored 23 goals, which is the second lowest overall amongst all 8 teams. So that means he had to have been almost near perfect every single week that he played. So that's a lot. Like he couldn't make a single mistake. Like he had no room for error. So and a phenomenal season for Huzaifa.
Definitely
good context.
Well, what I want to know is, why was he whispering? Was he like on?
I think
something?
I think I think he might have been feeling sick or something. Maybe his voice wasn't.
I don't know. It didn't look like he was sick. It didn't sound raspy to me. Trying to hide something.
I don't know.
I want to get to the bottom of that.
He doesn't want to give away his secrets to the other goalies.
Yeah, maybe. So yeah, with that, we'll move on to the Best Defenseman award. This award, self-explanatory, voted by the OC, who we think was the best defenseman for this year, and the winner of that award is Team Rida's Ayaz Patel with 23 points. One of the key players in Rida's second place regular season finish and semifinal appearance. Definitely a great player. No stranger to the league. He had a disappointing, I think, winter season last year, but this winter season completely turned around. And congratulations to Ayaz for winning the Best Defenseman award. This award was almost unanimous as well, with 6 out of 7 OC votes going to Ayaz. Mobeen, the lone wolf with Luke. But why don't you kind of just take us through that?
Yeah, my thought process was Luke was on the top team. I mean, he had the lowest. His team led in the lowest goals against. I mean, I could understand why the rest of the OC picked Ayaz Patel. You can't deny that. He put up points, and people notice that. People notice that more. But this is a defensive award, and I looked more, maybe because it's my goalie lens, I look more from the defensive aspect. And from what I saw, Luke, like the main goal for our D-man is to prevent goals from going in. And I thought, in my opinion, Luke and Haya did the better job. Not taking anything away from Ayaz. I mean, whenever your D could help out in scoring, that will always help your team succeed. But it's really whichever perspective you have, you can't go wrong with either one of these players.
Well said. You
think
can't
you're
go
giving
wrong.
Luke.
You can't go wrong with either of them.
I think you're giving Luke too much credit for the defensive play. I think that comes down to his goalie. That goalie was on his toes, so that's why he got the best goaltender award. Luke was just a good GM.
Hey man, he had some good plays, but definitely I think it's we're seeing the teams that did better in the regular season are getting a lot of the better stat and performance based awards, which I think is
they're both great team in their own rights.
Yeah, definitely. So here's Ayaz's thank you video. We'll just take a listen.
Assalamu alaikum, it's Ayaz Patel here from Team Rida. I'd like to give a big thanks to the league's OC for nominating me Islam's best defenseman. I would like to shout out my GMs and also everyone that is on Team Rida for their incredible support and hard work throughout the whole season, and also contributing into helping me achieve this award. Jazakallah.
Nice. Short and sweet. But yeah,
I don't recognize half of these players without a helmet.
Congratulations
Yeah,
to
with
these
their
guys.
hair all combed and
So our second last OC voted award is to the top defensive forward. This award, like the title says, is an award to the player that we believe, the forward that we believe performed the best defensively for his team. And this award is awarded to Mr. Hamza Ali with 19 points. Great two-way player who's actually in Hajj right now. So unfortunately, we weren't able to get a thank you video, but inshallah, he made dua for the league and for all of us, while at Hajj. So congratulations to Hamza. And the way that this one was a little bit more diverse. We have 3 candidates nominated, with 4 going to Hamza, 2 for Aqib Malik of Haya, and 1 for Adam Ahmed. So yeah, Mobeen and Isawi voted for Aqib. I thought, Aqib throughout the season played a bit of defense as well as a bit of forward. But definitely, a great defensive player for Team Haya to kind of lead them to that first place and least amount of goals allowed. And Adam Ahmed as well, great two-way player, was on the back end a lot of times. And we have Dawood here really celebrating for his teammate Hamza, who isn't able to watch this episode, or if he is watching it from Saudi, definitely chime in. But congratulations to Team Hassan and to Hamza Ali.
Yeah, this one's all like whenever I did awards in the past, I was like, this one's always a hard award for people to judge. Everyone has, because there's no one set criteria. You're playing 2 roles at the same time. You're playing defense, but you're also a forward. So everyone has in their own mind what that entails. But overall, like if I were to summarize it in one sentence, it's basically the forward who takes care of the defensive aspect of the game, but at the same time chips in on the offensive end. And all of these players, they do that. Their primary role is on the defensive end, but when they have an opportunity to put the ball in, to create an offensive chance and eventually put the ball in the net, they're all able to do it. For sure.
Congratulations to Hamza. And definitely he's going to be cheering on his team, Ihsan. If I was Sabir, and I had a player who's on the other team at Hajj, I'd be kind of, worried what kind of duas they made against us. But, let's see what happens on Friday. Let's see if his duas get accepted, for Friday. And so this moves on to kind of the award that kind of everyone's been waiting for. It's the MVP, the most valuable player of the regular season of the winter 2025 season. And this was awarded to Mr. Yahya Kotiwala with 27 points from Team Rida, the GM of Team Rida. He had the most goals of the season. He had the most points in the season. He with the 2 best scoring awards wins the MVP award. So congratulations, Team Rida. Congratulations to Yahya. They have their second winner with the best defenseman and now the regular season MVP. So congratulations to Yahya. Yeah. And here is how voting worked. So this was a really, really close voting race. It was really between Rida and Haya players, but even within Rida, between Yahya and Ayaz, with Zuhair and Imad voting for Ayaz, and Isawi, me, and Habibi voting for Yahya, and Mobeen voting for Luke. So definitely a really, really close race for the MVP this season. Congratulations to Yahya for winning the MVP award.
Yeah, even at the professional level, they always have debates who should be the MVP. And my thought was, when I picked Luke, I simply picked the best player from the best team. But I could definitely understand why Yahya and Ayaz argue why the other OC members voted for them as well.
Yeah, definitely. I think Yahya was one of those players this season that really, when he turned up, he transformed the game. I remember there was one game I was watching, they were losing by like 2 goals, and he scored 4 goals in like the last 3 minutes of the game to win the game for them. And that was, I think, after that moment, it was, I really realized how important he really was for their team. And him, Bully, a lot of the Palace guys, East End guys that they drafted, you could tell that chemistry was there, and they were really feeding it. He's a sniper, he's fast, and he has dangles as well. So definitely one of those players that if he's on your team, you're definitely looking and relying on him to kind of bring that offensive contribution. So yeah, congratulations to Yahya. We don't have a thank you video from him, but I'm sure he's grateful for the award. And yeah, with that ends our award show.
Actually, before we end it, can we just give a shout out to the stats-based winners?
Yes, for sure. So our stats-based winners, a lot of them are repetitive. So for the President Award, it is Team Haya. For the top scorer, so most points, it's Yahya Kotiwala.
27 points.
Yeah, with 27 points. And so that's top playmaker and top scorer as well. Top goal scorer, Yahya Kotiwala. Not top goal. Top assist, most assists.
20 assists.
Yahya Kotiwala. Most goals, it goes to Asif Bika. He wins the Rocket Richard award. The lowest goals against average is Huzaifa Mahida, who was also voted as the best goaltender. And that is all of our stats-based awards. Inshallah, please come on Friday to pick up your trophies so that Habibi can empty them from his dining room. He doesn't want to hold on to your trophies anymore. If you've won in the past as well, please come and get it. Habibi doesn't want to hold on to your trophies anymore.
I love you guys, but not that much.
For sure.
He's telling his daughter that he wants all these, that he won all these trophies.
Yeah.
At some point, she's not going to believe me.
For sure. So
actually, all the trophies are going to be with me. I'll bring them to the ring tomorrow.
For sure. Sounds good.
Friday.
And yeah, with that, we'll move into our finals preview. We have, we still have the last game of the season this Friday. It all comes down to this. And with that, it's going to be between Ihsan and Team Suburb. A really electrifying finals, 3rd place and 4th place. Who's going to take it all? And this is kind of just, a comparison. And we'll, kind of see what, what's going to entail. So why don't Mobeen or Habibi, one of you guys kind of, start it off and I guess break it down.
Well, for me, it really is the journey of these two teams, really. So, I mean, when you look at Ahsan and what they had to get to this, they had to go through like 2 top teams to get there. Suburb also had to get through the same thing, but Ahsan really found a way to gel and just kind of they just really found a knack of just really getting together and just kind of like when I saw that game between them and Rida. That was a team. I was like, okay, this is a pretty scary team. They're very deep. There's no question in terms of like their top line, like with Dawood, Z, and then Hamza. There's no question about what they can do, and their second line with Casentini, and all those guys that they have, and of course the defense. They're a very well constructed team. Suburb had a different journey. They really started, from the bottom up, but has really gained momentum as the season started. Sorry, as the season ended, and they have a differently constructed team. I think they're a team. They got everything. They got the guys. They got guys that can score, guys with speed, and more importantly, they got a great goaltender. So I think for this one, Suburb didn't have, in my opinion, like their journey was not as tough as Ahsan. Ahsan, I think, had a tougher journey getting to the finals. But Suburb has definitely found their mojo. They definitely found their grit, and it really truly came out. Last a couple of weeks ago when they played their game. So I'm not gonna predict. I'm gonna let you guys talk it out. But they're 2 different teams with 2 different journeys. They deserve to be there. It's going to rely on goaltending, I think, in my end. But yeah, hydration for sure. Like in terms of like how hot the rink gets and stuff like that. I don't know, but I'll start that off and see how you guys weigh in terms of like where these two teams are. Two definitely great teams that deserve to be there for sure.
I think we lost our host somewhere. Maybe it was his bedtime. So
no, I'm still here. I'm just off camera, inshallah. But you guys continue. I'll just I'll be guiding it from here.
Yeah, okay. Go ahead.
Go ahead.
We're not gonna ask what you're doing. Okay, so I think okay, let's talk about Suburb first. Okay, they started off weak, and then we did a trade with them. I was on Rida. We did a trade with them, and
hold on. You were on Rida, or were you on a class?
Sorry, a class. I'm sorry. I was on a class. My apologies.
Or did you want to be on Rida? This is your time to clear things up now.
No. Sorry, slip of the tongue. Anyhow, we did a trade with them, and I think that trade really helped them, and they seem to have turned the season around after that.
Could you remind us what the trade was?
Yeah, I think it was for Hamoudi. Like Hamoudi dropped out, Rizzi came in. Rizzi, they was a swap for Rizzi, and
they got Mikhail Zaidi.
Mick, yeah. So they got faster with Hamoudi out. No disrespect, Hamoudi.
Yeah.
The last time he's going to draft you.
Mikhail, he's got legs and he's got good hands. The kick and move. I played a couple of seasons with him,
and they got better with Suburb because he got to play with his boys, because a lot of his boys on Suburb,
right. Yeah, they all play on Dynamo, and exactly. These guys, they have chemistry, so you can see that change once he got to that team. That chemistry reappeared, and they started to make that difference. So that's my observation of Suburb, and I think that's going to be they're going to be tough to beat. Obviously, going in, they've got good defense, and Asif, he can score. That kid, he's got a shot. So that's going to be a fun game to watch. Now, not take anything away from Hassan. I think they're a well-rounded team. I think they're more two lines, two very strong lines, but I think they're more two lines. I do think we on Ikhlas should have beaten them in the quarterfinals. I think that was a very disappointing loss for us. It went down to a shootout, and unfortunately we just lost by one goal, which is, it happens in a shootout, overtime, whatever. These things happen. So to that, I don't know. Like, part of me says that if Hassan's two lines are way more effective in both games, they're going to be tough to beat. However, it may come down to conditioning and rolling the lines in the next in the two games in the finals.
Actually, Riaz Hussein brings up a good point about Red taking a ton of penalties. So, I mean,
well, that's going to be interesting, right? Like they do play a gritty game, right? They're kind of like Haya. Like Luke always puts together a very gritty team, but those teams are very successful, and I think Assad's kind of built like that. You've got I forget his name, Asens Weakness and Naeem.
No, I think that stat is really subjective. I mean, all these guys on Hasan, they know how to play. There's no question about it. It's not like they're dirty penalties or anything like that, but it's just a matter
no one's saying that.
But I think
it's just gritty play.
Yeah, and I think what it boils down to, again, it's the journey. Like Hasan has been well constructed, and they've shown like a well-positioned team throughout the 12 games and onwards. Suburb, and to your point, Faisal, you hit it on the nose. Suburb were in the bottom. They were in the bottom with my team and even Mobeen's team for quite a while. But once they started getting that trade, that's when they started getting up. So they started blossoming, maybe at the right time. Do you see what I mean? But Hasan has been playing well together, like from the very beginning. They didn't really have to do any changes. They didn't have to do anything like that. So, I mean, that's not something to be ignored. Suburb has gelled at the right point, at the right time, but it really boils down to like, are all 16 guys on both teams going to show up too? Because that's a major factor too.
For Asens, I think they've got good veteran leadership on the team. Like Asens, I mean, he's a great leader in the locker room, and he's a good strategist as well. Um, so so watch out for him, and then also DC. Like DC, also he's very smart in his observations of his opponents. I mean, he's there scouting from like 7:30 until 12:30 every week, so he knows how guys are playing. I think he might be at the arena right now and just trying to figure out what's going on over there. But he's good at coming up with a strategy and actually it's funny because he's very soft spoken, humble, and a jolly guy. But when he's playing, he's a different animal. I think we all are, but he is that way, which is good.
Well, both teams have the pieces to do it. So
if I could chime in, I 100% agree with Habibi that Asens has been consistent through this 5-month period. So that's nothing to overlook as well. Just to highlight the Suburb journey because it's quite an interesting one. They didn't like I was following there because my team was at the bottom and I had to follow Suburb.
Me too.
So they actually didn't get their first win until week 7 of the regular season, a 4-2 win over Yakin. So and then after that, they didn't look back. But we point to the trade being like the catalyst that moved things forward. But actually, in my opinion, even when they were losing, they were doing the right things. Like you had their whole bench show up, their whole roster show up every game. They were in good spirits. They had good attitude, regardless if they were losing, and they kept trying. And then eventually, it was just a matter of time that they would figure something out, whether it's internally or it's had to bring in a different piece to try to rework the roster that they were going to take off. And even though they were the last team to qualify for the playoffs, they actually finished 4th overall because of the red hot streak they had after that trade. So it's going to be quite an interesting matchup between these two teams. I also want to point out that surprisingly, in the 2 games that Asens and Suburb played, it was a 3-3 tied back in week 2. And then in week 9, it was a 2-0 win for Suburb. I mean,
interesting.
It's interesting, but when the finals happen, like all those numbers get thrown out the door. But it is interesting.
Yeah, Abdullah, what do you think?
Let's not worry about what he's up to.
Yeah,
let's carry on.
But I think the next question that will become is like, who do we predict is going to go onwards? And I don't want to teeter-totter with that question because, like I said, I honestly do believe that both teams have the right pieces to make it. It really will boil down to who shows up and, more importantly, which goalie shows up.
Well, they've made it this far. Both teams deserve to be there. They're both competitive teams. And I do think it's going to be a very interesting, actually exciting finals. So those of you who are going to be coming to the arena to watch the games and play pickup hockey in between, come enjoy the games. It's going to be really, really exciting. Like these are the teams that are gonna bring the excitement. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be probably madness.
I'm looking forward to it.
I think Abdullah had to drop, so I will resume my pseudo host roles. The finals is where your biggest weakness comes to play. So I'm just going to pass it over to the both of you. What do you think each team's biggest weakness that they're going to have to try to minimize on Friday? So we'll start off. What is Suburb's biggest weakness?
For who? For me?
Both of it. Whoever wants to take the floor.
I think
you go first.
Well, I mean, to answer that question, I can go for their strengths. They got excellent D. They got an excellent forward line, and they got excellent defense. Their weakness, I think, aside from Bika, who else could score?
Okay.
I think that's their weakness. I think they rely heavily on Bika and in terms of like scoring, and I think again this is just my opinion. Beyond that, it really is who else. And Bika, if he, I know I shouldn't be doing this because we're exposing, in our opinion, their weakness. And if Dawood's listening, which I know he is, you contain him, then yeah, then that is their weakness. You contain Bika, you contain Suburb. That's it.
All right, then, Faisal, since DC's your boy, why don't you go ahead and rip Ehsan apart?
No, I'm not gonna rip them.
Oh, you had to. You have to. I had to. I did it for these teams.
They already know how bad they are. They've got Castantini on the team. What else do you want me to say?
Bum, bum, bum.
Well, honestly speaking, if I had to answer my own question, I would say Ehsan's weakness is I'm not quite sold on Arsenal if he could take the next step.
Yep.
Hopefully he proves me wrong, but this is just my honest and upfront opinion. I think he's going to have his word cut up for him to stop the likes of Asabika.
Yeah.
So.
And I agree with you, Mobeen, because the thing is, like, and it's a good thing we're actually doing this, because the last time we said this about Arsenal, he actually stepped up his game and he proved us all wrong. Because we kind of pseudo hinted that direction in terms of like Asens Weakness on our last podcast, which we kind of agreed that it was Arsenal. And boy, oh boy, the only reason, in my opinion, that they're actually in the finals because of Arsenal's stellar play. But the answer to your question is exactly that. If we were to point out a weakness in Asen, it would be that, because their top line is amazing. Like in terms of like their scoring, and they get it from different levels too. They got it well.
Okay, so wait. What about the fact that they've taken more penalties? Like,
I think some of that was part of the green and red game.
Yeah, that was just the one big 10-minute. That's kind of skewed.
And since they eliminated you, they eliminated their problems.
You were the problem.
That's it. Yeah, they did get past us, so there's no denying that. They're in the finals and we're not. So, but okay, for Suburb, you pointed out they've only got one real goal scorer. However, they've got other pieces.
But the question was weakness.
They don't have to be.
The question was weakness. The question was
yeah. So I'm responding to that and saying, like, okay, well, the weakness is not just having one goal scorer in Asif. Like, you've got other players on the team that can score as well, right? They just got to be set up. They've got great players.
I got the standings. I got their stats right in front of me. Asif Bika's got 12 goals. The next ones have got 4.
Okay, but still, like, you've got Zaid, you got Ridwan.
Again,
those are numbers. And the difference between you and Habibi right now is he's giving you numbers, you're giving him names.
I got their top guy, Asif Bika, with 4 goals. Their second was Zaid Kaler. There were no Ridwan.
Granted, he look, they're probably going to come out and try to contain him, but it's not to say that the other guys on the team.
Oh no, we're not saying that. We're not saying that.
Ball in the net, right? That's what I'm saying. Like, the other guys
they have to score
the ability.
Yeah,
and I think they can.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So if Huzaifa Panchpire can set up players, and those players get in the open, they can they have hands. They can put it in the net.
There's no question about that, because they're there for that reason. But the question that was asked is, like, what's their biggest weakness? And I think their biggest weakness is they have been doing that, but they definitely have the capability. That aside from Bika and those guys that could score, they still have that secondary dynamo line. That's just a line on their own, which they're absolutely more than capable of scoring. But if you looked at what's gotten them there, it really has been Bika that's been taking a majority of that. And I'm a firm believer of, like, when it comes to the playoffs, it will always be the unsung heroes that will shine. It won't be the Dawood Siambers. It won't be any of those guys or the Hamza. It will always be that one player that's always under the radar that will actually, in my opinion, will always shine. Because
let's be honest. Let's be honest. It'll be DC, right? So it's never going to be DC. But who else is it going to be?
All right.
I think okay.
We move the show along because we know you have love.
Wait. Before we move along, I want to ask this: which team has more depth? Because we'll be here talking about like the top two lines, but between the two, which team has more depth?
So
which one of you want to answer that?
Well, I can answer that question. I think, in my opinion, out of the two teams, in my opinion, it would be Asens.
I agree with that.
Okay. Just
want. But that's not going to win. But that's not going to win you the champion. It doesn't mean that Suburb doesn't have the capacity in 2 games to do it either, right? I mean, we can go.
I think that's an important question. Like having depth. You're playing 2 games in one night. Having depth, having the cardio and endurance for those 2 games makes a big difference. So I think
don't disagree there.
That's the depth part will get you to not only to the finals,
100%.
You
I agree
into a championship team, so winning team. So I think the team with the depth will end up winning. That's my take.
Yeah, great takes. I think I'm the host. I don't know, Abdullah.
Well, you're the host now.
Hopefully this works. Let me know if you can see this on the screen.
Yeah.
Why are we watching this?
This is the goal that sent Suburb to the finals. When this was scored, how do I get back to?
Who was that?
When that was scored, when that particular goal was scored, we'll watch it again. It caused a lot of controversy whether he stopped or not. To the point where the referee, you can hear it on the stream.
Yeah.
But anyways, that's the goal that sent Suburb to the finals.
Oh, that's tough. I don't know. Looked like the feet weren't moving forward.
Well, actually, that's the argument, but the actual rule is the ball has to be in motion. But the referees took another look at our cell phone, I believe, RFCon's cell phone, and they deemed that it was a good goal. So that's the goal that sent. It's shootouts is a tough way to lose, but that's the goal. That's the reason why Suburb's in the finals. All right, we are getting close to Maghreb. We are at our second last slide. Just want to remind everyone, it was mentioned before that we do have pickup as usual between the two game 1 and game 2 of the finals. Come out, join, support your brothers, but also it's an opportunity to have a good run. A lot of us, I mean, all 3 of us actually, we haven't played hockey in a while. We've been eliminated, so it'd be a good opportunity to pick up the stick and just pass the ball around and just break a sweat on a Friday night, like how we're accustomed to.
Yep.
And it's always a fun atmosphere to see the finals, especially.
And that's Moby, and that's the whole reason why we do it too. To be honest with you, it's really to create that camaraderie and to create that finals championship. And we've been together for almost like 5 months now. It's been definitely a long season, and what a better way to end it off, especially to celebrate one of the 2 teams that will win it tomorrow in terms of like a silent celebrate. It's been a long journey, and to be honest with you, they deserve a celebration. They worked hard to get there, and there's no better way of doing that than getting a whole bunch of guys out to watch one of them carry the trophy, inshallah.
And also you get a chance to play around for a bit too.
Yeah, I can't go wrong with that. And bring a white jersey or a black jersey.
Yes.
There you go.
Just to finish this off, as you guys saw throughout the year, that we do have volunteers that work hard throughout all 3 seasons, fall, summer, and winter. But if you're interested in joining our team, we definitely want to take things to the next level, and we can only take things to the next level if community members, the players who play in the league, are invested. So if you could help out in the league in any way, we definitely have roles, but you're not limited to these specific roles. If you have a skill set that could help enhance our league, please reach out to one of the OC members and lend us we'll lend our ears to you and see how we can incorporate you into the organization.
Yep, this league is run totally on volunteers, and it's only as good as the people that want to be part of it, for sure. And that includes the 2 of you guys too.
All right, Habibi, do you want to sign us off for the last podcast of the winter season?
No, and obviously with the last podcast of this season, obviously thanking all the guys that showed up for a great season. Obviously it'll end this Friday, but more importantly, well, not even more importantly, but definitely looking forward to the next season. So our summer season, inshallah, will start immediately after. We'll announce the dates for the draft for the summer season. And the first game, inshallah, should be next Friday. But summer is always a great opportunity, great opportunity for guys to get that run out, get their feeling, and definitely a good group of guys. And it's like you said, Mubin, what a better way to spend summer Friday nights with brothers who have a shared passion for the sport that we love, for sure. So
that was well said. I do think we have Abdullah back on. So Abdullah, we'll give you the last word.
Jazakallah, and sorry guys, I was in the car. I don't know why it all just turned off on me, but I'm back now. Jazakallah for a fun season. One note for summer, we currently have all spots filled. If you are interested, we might open up one more spot on each roster. So if you're still interested, definitely reach out to me or Habibi, or DM us on Instagram, do the form, and we'll see what we can do, inshallah. But Jazakallah for a fun winter season, and inshallah, the best team. One thing that no one did mention, these guys on Suburb have, just come off a big Salam Cup win. Guys like Zaid Khalir, goals that tournament. If I'm Ihsan, I'm definitely going to be not taking them lightly, because I think these guys have got that taste of winning, and I think they're going to come for, they got their Salam Cup, and now I think they're going to come for the Islam chip. So definitely something Ihsan has to watch out for.
And that's nothing more than what we want. We want good competition between both teams, and you're right. What a better way to come off a tournament and kind of win a second one. But yeah,
or the other way too, right, Habibi? If you lost Salam Cup, or you lost an opportunity to win, you have another opportunity to win Islam. So,
anyways, it's just a tournament. But anyways, at the end of the day, it's two great teams. I'm looking forward to it. Both teams have the right pieces to get it done. It's just who wants it more, guys.
That's right. All right, gentlemen, it's been a pleasure. Maghrib is coming in, so we'll let everyone go. But we'll see you guys around Friday, inshallah.
Inshallah. Wow.